Sources tell ABC News CIA Director John Ratcliffe is in Moscow for meetings. A flight tracking service shows a U.S. Air Force plane originating from Joint Base Andrews flying into Moscow. And now a source says Ratcliffe was on that flight. Our Marcus Moore is here with the details. Marcus, nice to have you here in person from London. So walk us through what we know so far.
Yeah, good to be with you, Diana. So we know that this plane, a U.S. military aircraft, departed Maryland, Joint Base Andrews, and then it landed in Riga for a stop, and then finally at Vnukovo Airport in Moscow. As you just noted, we know from government officials, or from officials, I should say, that the CIA Director, John Ratcliffe, was on the flight and that he is in Moscow for meetings. And so that's what we know at this point for sure. The big question now is, what are these meetings? What are they about? And we simply don't know at this point. Obviously, the war in Ukraine is still ongoing. We know that the CIA, the former CIA Director, William Burns, made a trip before the war even started back in 2021 to try to get Vladimir Putin not to start that war. So the CIA was involved in that. And we also know that the CIA has also been involved in some prisoner exchanges. But we don't know if that's the case right now.
What's the Russian government saying about this?
Nothing. The Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, was asked about this. He said he had no information to share. So we're not hearing anything from the Russians on exactly what this is about.
And what do we know about Russia's military operations right now?
They're continuing. And actually both sides, both Ukraine and Russia, carrying out strikes against each other. Ukraine has managed to hit targets deep inside Russia, and that's notable because they've been hitting oil-producing facilities, and Russia has had to shut down some of those facilities, and it's caused a bit of a fuel crisis in Russia. In fact, in Moscow and parts of St. Petersburg recently, there have been gas lines, people trying to get fuel. There's also been rationing fuel. So there is a real sense that Ukraine is having some success in making ordinary Russians feel this war. This, of course, is something that the Ukrainians have been enduring now for well over 4 years. Diane, still no end in sight of this war.
So what are you listening for as we wait to hear more about what Ratcliffe is doing there?
So we'll wait to see, obviously, what this is about. Certainly, there's been chatter that perhaps it could be about a prisoner exchange, but we just simply don't know. Of course, a lot of people are hoping that perhaps this could be a signal that the negotiations on ending the war in Ukraine are perhaps making some progress, because I can tell you that right now those talks have really been stalled, and people are suffering in Ukraine. Obviously, as you know, the loss of life and really the disruption to everyday life has continued there. So we'll look for those tea leaves, as it were, but still a lot of questions about what this is actually about.
All right, Marcus Moore, thank you.